Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to go over part 2 of transfusion confusion with you about the genetics of blood typing. And so real quick, I'm going to minimize myself and we're going to look at that document, part 2, genetics of blood type. Just so you know, I'm about to go over this paragraph. I know sometimes whenever you read a paragraph and it has like a lot of information in it all at once, it can like go in one ear and out the other. Something happens where we don't really compute it. So I'm going to go over that paragraph with you so you have both this video to help you and also that paragraph there for you to reference if you need more help. Before I get started, I'm assuming if you're watching this video it's because you need help with understanding blood typing. If by chance you've already learned about blood typing in a different class or you've like taken AP biology, you might already know about it and you might do it a little bit differently than I am doing it. You can do it either the way that I'm doing it or you can do it the way that you've done in the past. I know both ways and so I will understand it both ways. To get started, blood typing is unique because in the past when you've learned about genetics, most of the time you learn about like hair color, stuff like that, and it's either you have brown hair or you have blonde hair. It's a dominant versus recessive type of trait that you see. And so in blood typing, instead of just having 2 alleles, you have 3. You have A, B, and O. And what's special about A and B are they are co-dominant. So anytime you see those together, it's not like A is dominant over B, so you're just A blood. Or B is dominant over A, so you are just B blood. You would see the trait expressed for both of those, A and B. Also, there's O blood that is recessive to both A and B blood. And so anytime it's paired with the allele A or B, they take over. Kind of what you've learned in the past. So in this assignment, they give you each of the blood types A, B, AB, and O, and they want you to write the possible genotypes for the blood. So genotypes is a combination of 2 alleles, one from your mom, one from your dad, that determines what type of blood that you have. And so we're going to do what they do first, which is blood type A, which is the popular one, blood type A. So what are the possible genotypes for blood type A? So if you have blood type A, we know right off the bat that you're going to have the A allele because that's what makes you have A blood. So we're going to go ahead and put an A. And then you could be AA, meaning you have you're homozygous for A blood type. Or you could be AO because the A is dominant over the O, and so that would make you have A blood type. As mentioned before, if you've learned about blood typing before, you might have seen it differently. And so if this makes sense to you, you can go ahead and stop. You're good. Continue to go on through those different blood types and provide the possible genotypes. So if you're A, you can have 2 possible genotypes. If you're B, you can have 2 possible genotypes. If you are O, you have 1. And if you are AB, you can have 1. Now, for those people that have learned about blood typing before, once again, if you're not one of them, stop right now. But if you've learned about blood typing before, what you might have seen is instead of putting an AA, they would put a capital IA, capital IA. Same thing. Okay, the only reason I'm not doing it this way this year right now is because it's harder to type that into Google Docs. So a big A and big A is easier. So if you want to do it that way because it makes more sense and you don't want to confuse yourself, go for it. Also with AO, it's normally big IA, little I. So once again, if you want to do it that way, I know both ways. I'm just trying to make it simpler since we're doing this online learning stuff, but do whichever way works best for you. That's it for this first part. Good luck.